Hey guys, so I've just been on Mounjaro for just over a week now, and so I thought I'd give a little update and let you know how I'm getting on. So I'm going to let you know sort of the side effects that I've had over the first week, and obviously how much weight I've lost, as I imagine that's why the vast majority of you are here, because I know before I started I was watching all the YouTube videos and listening to all the podcasts and everything, but also the side effects and the concerns that I've got about it, which at the moment for me don't outweigh the benefits, but I think it is important to sort of keep at the back of your mind. And it just depends sort of like what your circumstances are, what your game plan is. Do you know what I mean? I think it's very person dependent, this drug. But anyway, so if you're here, you probably know what Mounjaro is. It's recently been licensed in the UK, I believe, to treat obesity as well as type 2 diabetes, because it's originally used for type 2 diabetes. And I want to say it was authorised in January maybe of this year to treat obesity, but in the UK, but don't quote me on that. So you've probably heard of Ozempic, of I think Saxenda and Wegovy, I think they're called. They've all got wild names, but they're all similar sorts of things. And you've also probably heard of the discourse about, like fat people stealing diabetes meds, and now there's a shortage and all this, but we'll go into that separately as well. But anyway, so week 1, I started on Thursday the 4th of April, I think. I took my first shot at about 3:30 in the afternoon, and then obviously I took my second one on just Thursday there. It's Saturday today. It's the Grand National Day, and the reason that's relevant for this video is because I saw the bets online, and when you can bet on the horses or whatever, and it said the weight, and it was like these horses, and it was like 10 stone 11, like 10 stone 8, and I was like, oh my god, like, do I weigh more than a Grand National horse? And then my dad was like, no, that's the weight that they carry, you idiot. So I literally thought I was nearly about crying earlier because I thought I weighed more than a Grand National horse, but I don't, apparently. Apparently that's the weight they carry on him to weigh him down. I don't know how it works. I'm not a horse person. I'm not a horse girl. But anyway, so what you're here for, we'll start with how much weight I've lost, and then we'll go into all the details. So I started in January. I got a personal trainer because, again, I'll go into it in another video. I know I'm promising you everything, but I've been up and down my weight my whole life. I've been thin, I've been obese, I've been it all. Do you know what I mean? I've yo-yoed every which way. And so in January, I was at my newest, highest weight. Because originally it was 5 years ago, I think my highest weight was 13 stone 2. And I lost about 55 pounds then. Put it all back on, of course, and more. But yeah, but in January, this January 2024, my new starting weight and my new highest weight was 13 stone 6, which I think is 188 pounds, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, I'd have to get a calculator. And so then I started seeing a personal trainer, I started watching my weight and everything, and I got down to, I want to say 12 stone 8. Because I've been going to the gym at least 4 times, I've been aiming for 4 times a week since January to go to the gym, but if you've watched my last video, you know that hasn't happened. I've only really been going twice a week, except for the past couple of weeks I've been going at least 4 times. So I've been getting into an exercise routine, but my diet's been difficult, and so I dropped 11 pounds, I got down to 12 stone 8, and then I put maybe about 5 pounds back on, and I was 13 stone 1, basically. So I think the day I picked up my Mounjaro, my first shot, I was about 13 stone. And so in the first week, bearing in mind that I was going to the gym and stuff as well, and I was eating less, and we'll go into the why later, but I lost 6 pounds in the first week. So I went from 13 stone to 12 stone 8. And obviously I think a lot of that is probably water weight, because the week before I started Mounjaro, I was eating loads, I think I'd just given up, I was just in such a rut, and I was just eating loads, going out for drinks, I just wasn't caring. And obviously my appetite, it's one of those things where if you've struggled with foods, and if you've struggled with, EDs and stuff like that, especially if you struggle with obesity and yo-yo diets, you can eat. Like, you can eat and eat and eat. And I was eating. Last week, like the week before I started. I was munching. And so, yeah. So I think a lot of the £6 that I lost in the first week is probably water weight. But, you know, I'm not counting my chickens or anything, but I'm still happy with that. And I am still pleased. Like, it's a good little boost, isn't it? So obviously I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is amazing. I don't want to speak too soon, but I am pleased. And yeah. So firstly, the benefits. So I took my shot on about 3:30 on the Thursday. The next day I woke up, I went to the gym. Granted, I was tired, but I thought, let's put in the work. I went to the gym early before work, and I'd worked out and I didn't feel hungry. And normally I'm ravenous. Normally I wake up and I'm starving. I'm like, here we go. Like, I'm thinking about food. I'm like, what can we eat? And I wasn't bothered. And it was just, and then I went to the gym and I was like, right, I've just done loads of exercise. Like, and I still wasn't hungry. And it was so weird. I was literally walking back from the gym thinking, hang on, I'm going to get starving any minute. And it didn't happen. And so I think I normally have, I think, eggs and stuff for breakfast because I was trying to get my protein in. Because obviously one of the things about Mounjaro, one of my concerns is with any sort of weight loss or rapid weight loss, if you're not watching your protein, if you're not lifting, whatever it is, you're going to lose muscle. And I've lost muscle before. Like when I lost 55 pounds before, not a single bit of muscle on me. Not an inch of muscle. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to lose my muscle again because I am trying to get into, I know I keep doing this is my impression of the men in the gym. I'm trying to like do all that and I want to be strong, like I want to be, but anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. But yeah, I wasn't bothered. I wasn't bothered about food, and that's the first thing I noticed about it, the food noise. People talk about the food noise, and until I started going on Mounjaro blogs and Mounjaro communities and stuff like that, I didn't realise that other people don't have this food noise and that they don't think about food all the time. But honestly, like I can eat and then I can be eating and eating and eating. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I cannot stop eating, but it was gone. And I wasn't bothered. And I thought, I was like, this is too good to be true. And I didn't want to, get ahead of myself. And I was like, I'll be starving. And I could barely eat all day. And I'd eat like, because I made some like chicken pasta thing for lunch. I could barely eat half of it. And it wasn't, it wasn't me restricting myself. And it wasn't me thinking, right, you're on a diet. You need to cut this. I just wasn't bothered. And then again, I got home and not bothered at all. Like as I went on, so that's the first thing I will notice is the food noise is gone, and that was an amazing thing for me. And the second thing that I noticed that I don't think people talk about enough, although people do talk about it, the alcohol noise was gone. Now I've been trying to cut down my alcohol. I'm not saying I'm out here guzzling. But obviously, every weekend you go out with your mates or there's any excuse to go to the pub, I'd be like, yeah, let's go to the pub. I'd have a few drinks. Gone. I wasn't bothered. Like, honest to God, you could put a bottle of wine in front of me right now. No, thank you, sir. Do you know what I mean? I don't think, honest to God, people do not talk about that enough. Like, it was gone. And it's been gone ever since I've started Mounjaro. I went out for my mate's birthday. This is the thing, I started on Thursday and I was really worried because I've been reading the Mounjaro communities and I've been reading about the side effects, and people have said nausea is a side effect. Some people have had vomiting, and also some people have had diarrhea as well as constipation, so it seems to pick and choose. But I was so worried because I was going on a 5-hour megabus on that Saturday and another 5-hour megabus back on the Sunday, and I was like, I cannot be being sick, I cannot be having diarrhea. And luckily, I'd say I took it on the Thursday, and because it was quite late in the day, I felt full almost immediately. Like, not uncomfy full, but I felt satisfied. I wasn't asked about food almost immediately when I took that on the Thursday. And then Friday, what I will say, obviously I woke up and I was full, but later on in the afternoon on Friday, maybe about lunchtime, I did start to feel sort of tired. But at the same time, I don't want to just blame the Mounjaro for that, because like it'd been a long week, and I'd had a long day, and I was hot and I was dehydrated. So it is important, hydration is key. I drink loads anyway. That's why I went and got my diabetes bloods checked, because I drink and I wee like nobody's business. That I never understand when people are like, oh, like I find it really difficult. When people walk around with them big jugs and it's like 7am, 8am, 9am, keep going. I do not need that. Like, I don't understand when people are like, oh my God, like, I find it so hard to drink 2 litres in a day. Mate, I can just keep going, like, because I don't like fizzy drinks, so I usually just drink water anyway, other than when I'm drinking alcohol, obviously. Because I'm not going to lie, like, I'll have lemonade if it's mixed with pink gin, do you know what I mean? But not by itself. So, yes, I'm off on a tangent again, but stay hydrated. So, food noise gone, alcohol noise gone, cravings for anything gone, certain foods, it wouldn't turn my stomach, but I'd think not interested. I was able to go do a big food shop around Aldi, wheel my little trolley past the cakes, wasn't bothered. That Cuthbert the caterpillar or whatever, see you later mate, not interested. Do you know what I mean? And that's a really big thing for me, and it was lovely, and that stayed, that has stayed, and I just hope it keeps staying. But anyway, it's side effects I did have. On the Friday, I did start to feel tired, and then later towards the evening, I did start to get, it wasn't a bad headache, but it was just like this dull headache, and I did go to bed early because I did feel just knackered. But again, that could be because of, the drop in my blood sugars, although I was eating, so you know what I mean? Like, I don't think they dropped that low. Or it just could be that I had a long week, and then I was terrified because obviously day 3, the Saturday, was this big megabus mission. But no, woke up Saturday, absolutely fine, not a care in the world. Got that 5-hour megabus, wasn't bothered, no diarrhea, no vomiting, no constipation. I mean, do you know what I mean? But what I will say is, obviously, because the alcohol noise was gone and the alcohol craving, we went out for my mate's birthday, and I remember I was having this cocktail, and normally I'd be 4 cocktails down by the time, do you know what I mean? The way, like, but I had to force myself to drink it, and it wasn't, because I think one of the things that Mounjaro does, it sort of delays gastric emptying, and I did kind of feel like it was sitting in my stomach, like the alcohol, and I just, so we went on a night out, that's what I will say, because then we went out, so then we went out, and what I will say is, yeah, I think I was sick later in the day, because we went out for food before. Again, I had this ramen noodle bowl, because I thought I'm going to keep it clean here, because I don't think my stomach can handle it. I could barely eat it. And then, obviously, granted, I hadn't eaten much all day. I'd only had like half of my pasta and half of my ramen bowl. But then we went out, and it was kind of fine. I was like drinking slow because I wasn't really in the mood for it. And then I was sick later on. But I just felt, it was one of those things where I felt like I had to get it all out of my system. Do you know when you go in, obviously, when you go in like tacky and then you bounce back and then you're back in the game? It was like that. So I was just like to my mates, I was like, listen lads, like, just give me 5 to 10 and then let me just get it out of my system. And after that I was fine, I was able to keep going. But I think, yeah, so just be careful if you're just taking it and then you go out for drinks or whatever, do be careful. Because I did feel a bit like, bit grotty. But then Sunday we went out for food in the morning. Obviously, like, the thing is, I didn't really feel hungover, but obviously, and we went out to this big breakfast place, and my mates were getting like roasts and like big burgers and like, full English and all that, and I just got some like avocado on toast. It wasn't great, to be fair, but I think that was the restaurant, not the Mounjaro. But I could barely, like, I mean, I ate it all, don't get me wrong, I ate it all, but I wasn't even that hungry. And then I didn't eat all day, cause another 5-hour megabus back, which that journey in itself, but that wasn't to do with the Mounjaro either. It was just, we'll talk about it later. But so I got another 5-hour megabus back, and then that night I think I ate salmon and asparagus that I'd meal prepped. I kind of had to force myself to finish it, but I was like, you haven't eaten much, and what little muscle your little twiggy arms have got left is going to fade if you do not eat. So I've forced myself to finish it, which, don't get me wrong, you're probably looking at me and thinking you've never had to force yourself to finish eating anything in your life, and you'd be correct. But I had to force myself to finish that. And anyway, so everything was fine. I was like, and then I got into bed. Worst indigestion ever. I felt like I was getting stabbed in the back, and it was just kind of like, it felt kind of like it was in my throat, and that like it had to come. So I was like lying really uncomfy and like trying to like wiggle around and like squirming, trying to get it, trying to feel better, and nothing was working. And then I did have to go and sick up the salmon. So that was day 4, I think, the Sunday. But again, I didn't feel sick. It wasn't because I was nauseous. It was because I had really bad indigestion. And they do say eat small amounts regularly rather than big meals. So maybe that was my mistake. And chew. I've been like obsessive over chewing stuff to within an inch of its existence ever since then. And so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, after that, up until my second shot, I was very careful, especially in the evening. I went for sort of softer foods. I was trying to get my protein in. Lidl do these really nice protein yogurts. Obviously, I'm not saying live off them and make that your whole life, but I think I love the salted caramel ones. It's like 22, 25 grams of protein per yogurt or something. And I think a normal yogurt, I don't know how much protein a normal yogurt, I don't know if I'm being had here. I feel like a normal yogurt's only got like 5 grams of protein or something. I'm not sure. But obviously, because I'm trying to get me little Dobby arms, do you know what I mean? I'm trying to like get a bit strong. I did that and I had the protein yogurts and I was just kind of taking it easy then. But yeah, so first week of Mounjaro, 6 pounds lost, and I'm really happy with that. Whether it's water weight, whether it's not, do you know what I mean? But I do feel like my clothes are getting looser on me. I do. And I'm hoping it's not like a placebo and that I'm just going, do you know what I mean? Imagine if they turn around and we find out there's not actually anything in the Mounjaro shots and it's all an experiment and they're just messing with us. Do you know what I mean? But no, and so I had my second shot on the Thursday. That's my second shot of the 2.5 milligrams, because you'll probably know this if you're here, but I'll just tell you anyway. What you do is you tend to start at 2.5 milligrams and then you work through. So you'll spend at least a month on the 2.5 milligrams. And then, if you're doing okay, if there's not many side effects, you can graduate to the 5 milligrams to 7.5 and it goes all the way up to 15. And then you stay on a maintenance dose. And then I suppose you can reduce, or I don't really know. This is the thing. This is one of my concerns. So obviously one of them is about muscle mass and protein and all of that. But my second concern is, do you need to stay on this forever? Because I've heard mixed reviews, and obviously Mounjaro is a big, it's a little money maker. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if the corporations or whatever will be like, yeah, you do need to stay on this forever. But I think there has been an evidence base, and I think there has been like research where people have come off it, and then they've regained all the weight back, or they've regained some of the weight back. So I don't know whether I'm going to just try and stay, if the 2.5 milligrams, if I'm still losing a couple of pounds a week, I might just try and stay on that dose. I think at the minute in the UK, they don't actually have the 7.5 milligrams. I think they said it's coming at the end of April. And also, I'll do another video on supplies as well, because I get it from Boots, but that is quite expensive. And I think they do Superdrug or like Simple Pharmacy or something. There's a few. There's a good Mounjaro UK thread on Reddit. I'll see if I can link. I'm not very technologically gifted, but I'll see if I can link some good resources and stuff. So yeah. So today is Saturday the 12th of April. It's the Grand National. Today's the Grand National. And I do not weigh more than a Grand National horse, you'll be pleased to know. As I was pleased to know. But yeah, so basically my plan is I'm hopefully going to do weekly sort of updates. But I don't know, because like obviously I'm scared of ridicule, don't like people being nice to me, I don't like people being nasty to me. So we'll see. And I think there's a lot of shame, and I think there's a lot of sort of, not secrecy, but I think people are maybe afraid to admit that they're on one of these drugs because they think, oh, you cheated. But anyway, we'll talk about all of that in a separate video, because I've got a lot of views on it. But yeah, I did do a weekly vlog. I did do little daily vlogs for the first week, but then because I'd done them on Snapchat, I then had a problem with my Snapchat app and I couldn't export it. So what I'm doing this week is I'm just doing it on the video app on my phone, and I'm going to try and collate a little week 2 like daily vlog for you. It'll probably be boring, but if it's boring, just don't watch it. Do you know what I mean? And then I'll try and do weekly updates, and then also do a video on how Mounjaro works, where you can get it from in the UK, and the side effects. Because I think the most common side effect that I've heard people report on the forums and everything is nausea, vomiting, some aspects of diarrhea, which really worries me, because I don't want to poo myself at work. I don't want, especially if it's like liquid gold, do you know what I mean? And you've got no control over it. So, but anyway, yeah, so £6 gone in the week. We're going to try and build up my little twiggy arms, and we're going to keep going. You'll see my week 2 vlog. I'll just shove them all together, and then I'll do a separate video with the week 2 updates. I might also do a video on my weight loss journey so far, and well, my weight loss / weight gain journey, and how I've sort of ended up here and why I thought it was the right decision for me, and also podcasts and stuff. But yeah, so thank you all for listening, but I will see you all next week, or maybe sooner, depending if I do another video. And yeah, any questions, just let me know, put it in the comments, and I hope you all have a good week.